My coworker saw child-sized bruises on my back and asked what I brought home. I found out at work that the marks on my back were shaped like a child's hand. That is not me trying to make it sound worse after the fact. Mei Chen from accounting saw them first. We were in the break room, waiting for coffee, and I thought she had stopped behind me because there was lint on my shirt or my collar was folded wrong. Then she pulled my collar down just enough to see the bruises below my shoulder blades and said, very quietly, "That doesn't look like an adult grabbed you." May and I were not close. She worked in finance, and most days our entire relationship was a nod in the elevator. That morning, she stood behind me for long enough that I turned around and asked if something was wrong. She asked if I had let a child ride on my back recently. I laughed because the question was so strange. I had been hunched over for weeks by then, so people had noticed. My manager asked if I was sick. A guy from design said I looked like I had slept in an airport chair for 2 nights. That was close to what I had been telling myself anyway. Jet lag, bad mattress, coming home from vacation wrong, getting older. Normal reasons. Reasons you can say out loud at work. May did not laugh with me. She told me to go look in the restroom mirror and not to rub the marks. I still thought she was overreacting until I stood in front of the sink, twisted my neck far enough to hurt, and saw them. There were 4 little ovals below my left shoulder blade, too even to be a bruise from a doorknob, and too small to be from backpack straps. Lower on the right side, near my ribs, was a darker, blunt mark that looked like a knee. I know bruises can look like anything if you stare long enough, but the first image that came into my head was a child clinging to my back, one hand in my collar, one knee pressed into my ribs. I do not have children. I had not carried anyone's child. I had not even gone to the gym since before the trip, unless dragging a suitcase through a connection counts. I took photos because I wanted proof that May had scared me into seeing shapes, but the shapes were clearer in the photos. When I got back to the break room, my coffee had gone cold. May did not ask where I had traveled. She did not ask if I had eaten something bad or slept badly. She looked at my face and asked, "Did you buy anything old while you were away?" That was when I thought of the bundle on my bedroom shelf. It had not been something I meant to buy. I picked it up in an old market near the water, wrapped in cloth and tied with black-red thread. Inside was a small wooden carving, about the length of my palm, shaped like a crouching child with its head tucked down and its arms around its knees. The wood smelled damp, like a drawer that had not seen sunlight in years. The seller had warned me about it. The market was loud, and I only understood part of what he said. I thought he told me not to put it near the bed. Then he tapped the cloth bundle with his fingernail and said 2 words in English. No mirror. I kept it on the shelf in my bedroom for almost 3 weeks. By the time May asked me about it, the thread around the cloth had gone tight enough to bite into the fabric, and the figure inside felt lighter than it had when I bought it. I still tried normal explanations. I went to a doctor near my office. She asked if I had changed pillows, if I had been under stress, if I sat at a desk all day. Yes, yes, yes. She pressed 2 fingers along my neck and told me the muscles were tight. She gave me a list of stretches and told me to stop checking medical websites at night. For 2 days, I did the stretches. I slept with a towel rolled under my neck. I stopped drinking after dinner. I set my phone across the room so I would not scroll before bed. The sleep app said I got just over 8 hours on the second night. I woke up with my face in the pillow, both hands numb under me, and my shirt twisted backward like somebody had been pulling the collar while I slept. That morning, there was a new mark under my right shoulder blade. I did not tell May right away. I am not proud of that. I did not want to be the kind of person who brought a vacation souvenir to work because a coworker had made him nervous. So I waited until lunch, when the floor was half empty, and took the bundle out of my backpack. May's face changed before she even touched it. She did not gasp. She did not make a scene. She put her chopsticks down, wiped her hands on a napkin, and said, "Why did you bring it here?" "You asked what I bought." "I asked so you would leave it alone." That annoyed me more than it should have, probably because I was exhausted. I told her it was a piece of carved wood from a market, not a bomb. I unwrapped one corner of the cloth to show her. She reached across the table and pressed the cloth shut with 2 fingers. "Don't open it here," she said. "Don't put it back in your bedroom. Don't let it face a mirror." I asked her what she thought it was. She looked around the break area first. People were eating microwave noodles and checking Slack. Normal office noise. I remember that because her answer did not fit in that room. "I don't know exactly," she said, "but that kind of thing is not decoration." I asked if she meant a charm. "Not for you," she said. I wish I had listened then. I wish the worst part of this story was that I ignored a coworker and had a bad night. Instead, I went home and threw the bundle away. There is a trash room on the first floor of my building. You need a fob to get in. I took the cloth bundle in a grocery bag, carried it downstairs at arm's length, and put it inside the big black bin under 2 pizza boxes and a broken floor lamp. I took photos because I already knew I would not believe myself later. The weight on my back got worse before I reached my apartment. That is the part people misunderstand when I tell it. They assume I mean I felt guilty or scared or suddenly aware of my own posture. No, I mean my knees bent in the elevator. It felt like somebody had climbed onto me between the first and third floor. Not a full adult weight, not even close. More like a sleepy child being carried from a car, all their heaviness concentrated in the knees and arms. My shirt pulled tight across my throat. The skin under my collar prickled where the old bruises were. When the doors opened, I had to put one hand on the wall before I could step out. The bundle was still in the trash room. I checked the photo all night. I even went back down, moved the pizza boxes with a broom handle, and saw the grocery bag exactly where I had left it. The shelf in my bedroom was empty. My back was not. After that, I stopped sleeping normally. I could doze for 20 minutes sitting upright on the couch, then jerk awake because my head had dipped too far forward and something behind me seemed to shift. Lying flat was worse. The moment my shoulders touched the mattress, the pressure spread across me, warm and close, like small limbs settling into place. I moved the mirror out of my bedroom. I covered the bathroom mirror with a towel. Then I forgot one morning. I had taken a shower before work because I smelled sour from not sleeping. Steam covered the bathroom glass. I wiped a clear patch with my palm, shaved badly, brushed my teeth, and bent to rinse my mouth. When I straightened up, there were 2 cleared places in the fogged mirror. One was mine, at face height, where I had breathed. The other was lower, just behind my right shoulder. It was small. Not a full handprint or a face, just an oval cleared in the steam, low enough that it should have been in the air behind me, as if something there had leaned forward and breathed out. I left work early that day and called May from the sidewalk. She did not say, "I told you so." She asked where the bundle was. When I said I had thrown it away, there was a pause long enough for traffic noise to fill the line. "Can you stand straight?" she asked. I tried. I could not. May took me to Mr. Lin that evening. A woman at the counter called him Uncle Lin and waved us through a curtain. From the street, his place looked like a paper goods store wedged between a tax office and a nail salon. Not a temple, not a fortune teller's place. There were 3 plastic chairs, a kettle, a low cabinet, and an old mirror wrapped in faded cloth. No chanting, nothing theatrical. Mr. Lin did not ask to see the wooden figure first. He walked around me once, slow, hands clasped behind his back. He looked at my shoulders, then the base of my neck, then the way my knees bent when I tried not to lean forward. "How long since you brought it into your sleeping room?" he asked. 3 weeks. He nodded like I had told him the weather. I asked if it was cursed. I wanted him to say yes, because cursed still sounded like the object was the problem. Objects can be thrown away. Mr. Lin shook his head. "You are thinking about the thing," he said. "The thing was only where it waited." May closed her eyes for a second when he said that. He unwrapped the mirror next. It was not large, maybe the size of a serving tray, with a dark wooden frame and cloudy glass. He set it against the cabinet and told me to stand with my back to it. I said I did not want to. "Good," he said. "Then you understand enough." May stood near the curtain, one hand over her mouth. Mr. Lin told me not to look over my shoulder, only into the mirror when he said. For a few seconds, all I saw was myself. Gray face. Bad posture. Shirt wrinkled across the chest from where it kept pulling back. I felt a stupid flash of relief. Then the glass changed. Not like a movie, no shadow rushing in, no face appearing behind mine. It was more ordinary than that. My shirt was bunched at the left collar, and in the mirror a small hand was holding it. 4 fingers, too thin, the color of wet paper. A dark little shape pressed between my shoulder blades, knees tucked up against me. The head was turned down so I could not see the face. One arm looped over my collarbone like it had been there a long time and had no reason to let go. I stopped breathing. The hand tightened. Pain went through both shoulders so fast my knees hit the cabinet. The mirror jumped. May made a sound behind me, not a scream, more like somebody had pushed the air out of her. Mr. Lin covered the mirror. "Do not call it a name," he said. That was the only time his voice sharpened. I sat in the plastic chair, shaking so badly the legs clicked on the floor. Mr. Lin poured hot water into a paper cup and made me hold it with both hands. He asked if the seller had warned me about the bed, if there had been a mirror nearby, if anyone else had slept in that room since I came home. No, no, no. Then he said the part I kept trying not to understand. "You cannot give it back by throwing the wood away," he said. "You already carried it out." I told him I would pay whatever it cost. He looked tired then. Not offended, just tired. "Money is not carrying," he said. He could make a place for it to go, he told me. He could mark the boundary. May could come along, but not close. He could not walk the last part for me. Nobody could. "It is on your back," he said. "You bring it down." We went after the shops on that block had closed. Mr. Lin took the bundle out of the trash room himself before we left. I do not know how May got my building manager to open it. The black-red thread around the cloth had snapped in one place. The wooden figure inside felt almost hollow when he handed it to me. He tied a new red thread around my wrist, then around the bundle. Not tight, just enough that I could feel every small swing of it against my palm. The route was only 2 blocks, down the service alley behind the shops and across a small parking lot to the canal. It should have taken 3 minutes. It took forever. May stayed behind me where Mr. Lin told her to stay. I could hear her shoes sometimes. Mostly I heard myself breathing and the small, wet breaths near my ear. Halfway down the alley, the weight shifted higher. I bent forward so far, my free hand scraped the brick wall. Something pressed its face into the back of my neck. The thread around my wrist tugged, not away from me, but up, toward my shoulder, like the bundle wanted to climb. Mr. Lin had told me not to turn around. He had told me not to look in windows. He had told me not to apologize. That last one was the hardest. I kept wanting to say I was sorry. Sorry for buying it, sorry for putting it near my bed, sorry for trying to throw it away. The words filled my mouth until my jaw ached. At the end of the alley, under a security light, my reflection moved in a parked van window. I shut my eyes. The arms around my collar pulled tight. Not choking, holding. A child's grip, if a child could be desperate enough to bruise bone. I walked with my eyes closed until May said, very softly, "Curb." Mr. Lin had set a metal basin by the canal wall. There was ash in it, and folded paper, and a small square of clean cloth. He pointed to the cloth. "Put it there," he said. "Say only what I told you." I put the bundle down. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the weight became so heavy, I made a noise I still hate remembering. Both knees hit the concrete. The red thread burned across my wrist. Something small and cold pressed its forehead between my shoulder blades. I said, "This is not your place." The hand at my collar tightened. I said, "Come down now." I expected a scream, or the basin to tip over, or the thing in the mirror to finally lift its face. What happened was quieter. My shoulders emptied. That is the only word I have for it. Emptied. The pressure slid down my back and was gone. So suddenly, I fell forward on both hands. Air went into my lungs without dragging past anything. My neck straightened by itself. Behind me, May started crying. Mr. Lin covered the bundle with the clean cloth. He did not let me see the wooden figure again. The bruises took 9 days to fade. The little finger marks went yellow first, then green, then disappeared. I slept 10 hours the first night after the canal and woke up on my back, arms loose at my sides, the way I used to sleep before the trip. At work, people stopped asking if I was sick. May still checks the back of my collar sometimes. She pretends she is fixing it. I let her. I never got a bill from Mr. Lin. He only told me to keep my bedroom shelf empty for a month and not to bring old things into a sleeping room again. He said it like my dentist telling me to floss, which somehow made it easier to obey. I travel with less luggage now. I buy postcards. I buy bottled water. Once, in a market in another country, I saw a tray of old charms under a glass case and felt my shoulders pull forward before I even stepped closer. Nothing followed me home after that. I have not seen a small hand in the mirror. My sleep app looks normal. The shelf in my bedroom has books on it again, but nothing secondhand, nothing wrapped, nothing I do not understand. People bring home things all the time. Most of them are just things. But if someone selling you an old little object tells you not to put it near your bed or not to let it see a mirror, do yourself a favor. Believe them the first time.